record. Good deal. All right. Welcome, Patty, and who's ever on an iPhone. Glad you're here. Sometimes it doesn't show up with the names. All right. I'm Shaleen, and I am happy and excited that you're here tonight because I've been wanting to talk about citrus oils for a while. Dr. D taught a class to us years ago about all of the benefits of citrus oils. And I know that they're true. I know that this list is long that I'm going to talk to you about today. I've got these wonderful 10 reasons that you should be using essential oils that are citrusy. Let me show you these couple of pictures that I just found. I love this picture because it just looks inviting, doesn't it? You just see lemons and limes and oranges and grapefruits. It just looks inviting to me. And I grew up not really liking any of these, thinking that they were just sour and maybe bitter. Grapefruit was kind of bitter to me. And now I absolutely love grapefruit. And my mother that passed away recently ate a grapefruit every day up till the very end. My sister Carrie said it's the last thing that she had to eat was her grapefruit that morning. And it's just such a blessing that we have the oils from these fruits to use. Now, most people mistakenly look at a yellow bottle and go, lemon, oh my goodness, it's the juice from the lemon. They've squeezed out the juice from the lemon and put it in here. And that's not what it is. It's the rind that has been pressed, cold pressed, and gotten the oil out of the rind for us to use. And that is a true blessing that doTERRA has figured out how to do that so that we have the benefits of these citrus oils for us. So I'm going to repeat this a couple of times because it's really important to know. If you use citrus oils on your skin and then you go out in the sun, you need to be prepared for the sun to give a little bit of extra care to your skin. It could hurt, it could burn, it could blister. So you have to be careful with citrus oils not to put them on your skin and then go out in the sun. In my allergy blend happens to be lemon is one of them. And so you wouldn't want to put that right under your nose, go outside and have the sun beat down because it could blister. So just be careful of that. You can take the oils internally and not worry about the sun, but putting them on topically, you do have to worry about. Okay. So lots of different reasons to use citrus. We're going to talk about a few of them. Naturally mood elevating. So it increases our serotonin and gives us a better mood. I don't know about you, but if I'm smelling wild orange or any other citrus, Citrus Bliss is my favorite because you add a little vanilla in there and it's amazing. It does elevate my mood. It just makes me feel better. Citrus oils are also energizing and invigorating in that same uplifting your mood way. It can calm anxious feelings, and you can use them for non-toxic cleaning. So I'm curious if any of you have ever used it for taking off something sticky. Yep. Lemon, lemon, lemon. And I've used orange in a pinch when I didn't have lemon. But you can use these oils to remove gum, any sticky residue from a label around a jar or something. It'll even help take Sharpie off of things and crayon off of things. So it just does a great job of cleaning and removing sticky substances. And then it gently cleanses our body. So you can put the oils in your water. You pick the ones you like, whether it's tangerine, clementine, lemon, orange. Now, orange has the most limonene, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute, but you can take these oils internally and so many benefits that we're also going to talk about, but they will gently detoxify your body. They will not gently detoxify something that is not natural. And some of you may have been on when I've talked recently about I was doing some hot apple cider in my hot chocolate machine. And for some reason, I had some styrofoam cups. I don't buy them anymore. I just had them on hand for use with the hot chocolate machine and had a few left. And I grabbed the hot chocolate, grabbed the styrofoam cup, put it under the machine, put my cider powder in there and push the button for the hot water. And then I thought, oh, I should just add some lemon to that. That'll just be so good. And so I added a couple of drops while the hot water was going in. I added a couple of drops of lemon. And it was like, if you know Star Wars and a lightsaber, that's what it was like. I put a couple of drops in, and immediately that far down on the cup, it was like, and the oil just disintegrated the styrofoam cup. And I was like, oh my word, I can't believe I did that. What a silly thing to do. But the water was going everywhere. It just destroyed the cup. And they, in my early days of doTERRA, said, this is an example you could show at a class. You can put some lemon on a styrofoam cup and watch it disintegrate. And I had never done that. And so this was my experience that I had without thinking of doing it mistakenly. But what I love is that's what it does to the chemicals and things in our body that it doesn't appreciate, that it helps us detoxify from. It gets rid of the things that are not natural in our body. And I'm not sure I explained that right. Maybe Patty has a minute to unmute and explain that better. I don't know, but it's a way of using the citrus in our body to detoxify and get rid of the things that are not good in our body, gently cleansing our body. So
be careful what you ask for, Shaleen.
oh, Patty, I love your explanations. What did I say it correctly?
Limonene helps our liver create a substance, a hormone called glutathione.
Okay.
And glutathione is what takes out all the toxins.
Well, there you go.
The lemon oil destroys the styrofoam because styrofoam is a very weak linked petrochemical. And the lemon oil is a much stronger chemical. It's a much stronger linked essential oil. And so it will go after the weak links in the styrofoam. So that is not what happens inside your body.
Yeah, it's going to, yeah. That's why I was always hesitant to show the example. I was like, do I want them to think this is going to happen inside their body?
Well, the important thing is to remember is that it's the styrofoam you don't want in your body.
Exactly.
Right? Because it's from oil. It's from plastic. It's what we don't want in there.
Right.
But the benefit of the limonene in the citrus oils is what it helps our body do for itself.
I love it.
I'm making some spaghetti sauce here, so I'm gonna let you finish.
I love it. Thank you. And I appreciate you stepping in. I might need you again. So thank you. Okay, limonene, we're going to talk about for just a minute, makes up the most of the constituents of citrus oils. Wild orange has the most limonene. And are you ready for this list? This is a list that Dr. D gave us years ago. And you don't have to write it all down, but I just want to let you know how much benefit the citrus can be, and limonene in specific can be to our bodies. Limonene has been shown to prevent growth of cancer, limits G proteins. I don't know what that is, but it says limits G proteins. Limonene's been shown to decrease inflammation and pain. Limonene has been shown to increase antioxidants and reduce the size of cancer cells, boost the immune system, reduce stress. We've talked about some of these things, dissolve gallstones, relieve heartburn, help with blood sugar levels, decrease fat cells, support healthy cholesterol, support gut lining, detoxifies the liver, promotes healthy bowel movements, helps with skin repair and new production of blood cells, and protects eyes from damage. All those things limonene has been shown to help. So if you're using some citrus oil in your water every day, you are doing all those things for your body. You are giving your body that benefit. Now, Dr. D says that he makes an equal mix of grapefruit, wild orange, lemon, and lime, and he takes a lot of drops every day. I'm not sure I want to say how many he takes, because he takes a lot. And so I don't do quite that many, But I would think if you were taking a few drops of each of those oils in your water every day, that would be fantastic. So great way to get help from limonene. All right. It also supports our healthy immune system. Next week, Lee's going to teach us a whole class on that, so we'll get more information. Supports a healthy respiratory system by getting rid of airborne pathogens. So that's when you can use it in your diffuser and get your help that way. And of course, it's a natural air freshener. So many awesome ways that it can help us. I'm curious what your favorite is. I happen to like lime. Lime is to taste. Lime is one of my favorites. Do you guys have any other favorites that you've used of citrus oils?
Yes, my favorite is the white grapefruit followed by the tangerine.
Ooh, I'm not sure I've tried the white grapefruit. I did see an article on that recently though. Thank you.
Yeah, the white grapefruit is rare. But when they offer it, I buy the maximum number that I can.
Because you really like that. Okay, I love grapefruit, so I bet I would really like that one. Okay, and then this month, just so you know, I thought it was funny that it happens to be a citrus month. So if you order 200, you get Sunny Citrus, Island Mist, and Citrus Bliss. Now, those three are free oils that you get if you order 200 PV. Now, Citrus Bliss has been remade now to use doTERRA's Madagascar vanilla. And I haven't tried the new one, so I can't wait to get the new one and see how that goes. So use
It
these.
smells divine.
Oh, you've already got it.
I keep it by my couch where I sit to watch TV, and I just sit there and waft it
Oh.
under my nose.
It's like a dream.
So yummy.
Heaven. Oh my goodness. Okay, you're amazing. Okay, I got to get that one. So we diffuse it for emotional support, use it topically on your skin for physical support, and internally to help our body in so many ways. So use these citrus oils to detoxify your life. You are going to benefit from them and be so very glad that you have them. All right, we're going to talk about COVID for a little bit. I'm curious now. I talked with a few that got on early about nobody's had COVID themselves, and I've had it. I'm probably just getting over it is what I'm figuring. They say you can be out and about after 5 days if you did not have heavy symptoms. That would be Joe. He got it from me on my day 3 or 4, and he's barely had 2 fevers and a little bit of congestion, which seems cleared up already. And I'm on day 9 and I'm still congested and very, very tired. So it's interesting how different. Mine was 3 days of misery, another 2 days of misery in a different way, and now just hanging on things. So it's very different for different people.
I'm wondering if you had a worse reaction because you had so much attack on your immune system for the last 6 to 8 months.
I don't know, but that's very true. And I have been through an awful lot. But I know people who are sick a lot that have gotten it and don't have a lot of issues. I still think it's just an odd, I don't know, an odd thing. I'm curious what you would do. So I want to tell you some of the things that I had to deal with. And then I would love to know if you think I got relief and which doTERRA things that I use, because I used a lot of doTERRA in the last week. So I called my doctor. That's the first thing I did once I got the positive results. And I let them know because my friend Lee said, you need to get, oh, I can't remember what she called it. It was shoot. Oh, maybe I've got it in the text. She said that so somebody says, let me in. Sorry guys, I covered up my admit all. Oh dear. While we were talking. Sorry about that, Sonia. Sorry, Laura. Doggone it, you guys. I'm so sorry. I covered up my participant section while I was teaching. And so you guys were just hanging there waiting to come in, and I apologize. So we talked a lot about citrus, and now we're moving on to COVID. So here you are as we're having this discussion. So Lee was quite worried about me, and she said to get an antiviral from my doctor. So I called my doctor right away once I had COVID, and he started telling me about the antiviral, and it made it sound so scary. I was like, yeah, I'm not interested. Thanks. He said it's only for serious situations, and I wasn't serious enough for that right now. Yes, I will share Dr. D's list with you, Tammy. I just saw that in there. And so what I'm going to do is tell you what the doctor told me to do. And he said, use ibuprofen, Advil, Tylenol, use it 3 times a day and stay ahead of it all. And at that point, I was having so many body aches and headaches and aches and pains that I started taking ibuprofen. I normally probably wouldn't do that, but I was very, very, very ill in those first few days. So I took some ibuprofen and used that throughout the days. And then what I did pretty quickly was wean off of that, start using deep blue polyphenol. I had On Guard going in my diffuser nonstop. I was in hopes that Joe wouldn't get it, but he ended up getting it. I used On Guard plus soft gels. Those have Melissa in them and oregano in them, super good for your body. And I was taking those multiple times a day. Oregano on my feet, and that's when I felt the most relief. Thought that was interesting. Pains and aches, I put oregano on my feet, and that's when I started to feel the most relief. Now, there's On Guard chewable tablets that have zinc in them. That was Lee's suggestion. Make sure you take that to get the zinc in your system. So I was doing that. And I had 3 days of misery with that. And then I developed the worst sore throat I've had in a really long time. So for 2 days, I could hardly talk and just raw sore throat. So out came my spray for my throat, which I make with On Guard cinnamon and clove and water. And I was using that constantly to try to deaden and help it out. Then Copaiba came out, used that for some of the achiness too. And then the most help I got with my throat was On Guard mouthwash. So that's a great way to use the On Guard and get it down in your throat and gargle with it so that it was down low and helping out right there. Breathe drops and On Guard drops, I think I was just using those constantly. Joe was too. I use those through the night. Does anybody ever go to sleep with one in your mouth? I feel like I have to brush my teeth the second I wake up because I just worry about my teeth. But oh my goodness, it helps you sleep when you have a cough. Those were a lifesaver for me. Then I switched over to putting Breathe in the diffuser because the congestion and the coughing started, and I wanted to get through that. So I used my humidifier diffuser and had it sitting right next to me, and I would just literally breathe it and had it on high enough that I had to refill a huge tank multiple times a day just because I wanted to keep the breathe going in my lungs and not have a problem there. I've had nausea, I've had diarrhea, using Digestin on my stomach, that helped. And then I was sleeping all day and I was sleeping at night. I was just sleeping constantly. And I started just taking the Serenity soft gels at night so that I could sleep solid at night. And that really helped me feel better too. So all of those things, I know it sounds crazy. I did all of that in a week's time just to help me get through this. And I truly do feel like it helped. So a few more people are on here than we had at the beginning. Does anybody else willing to say if they've had COVID or if they have an experience with different symptoms or different things that their family's gone through?
We had it.
And what were your symptoms like, Laura?
We got it we're right out, picked it up from one of the holiday parties from 2019.
So you had
And
it a long time ago.
so we both got it. And then our son got really sick at the same time, but we're not sure if he had COVID or if he got sick from something else. But the point is, it hit hard and fast. My nose was running like abnormally, even for allergies. It was like the worst allergy day, but you couldn't stop it. and then it turned into, you know, the usual cold symptoms. And it got to the point where I could either breathe or I could eat or drink something, but there was not a breathe and eat and drink. So it was like, hold your breath, swallow the food, and hope you can breathe real quick after it's down, you know?
My
So,
goodness.
yeah, it was wild. I had Patty, and she had just given me some of that stuff that she makes, the skin saver stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what I had slathered all over my face, keep my nose from turning into raw
raw.
Rudolph.
Right.
And it worked. Yeah, it worked. As much as I was blowing my nose, I actually didn't end up with a raw face because of Patty.
I love it.
So, and then I was using oregano feet and stuff like that. So,
Sounds so good. So you had it way early on. Oh my goodness. So how old is your son, Laura?
he's 33.
Okay, so he's
30,
full grown,
just turned 34. Sorry.
full grown man. Okay.
Yeah.
So when he had did he have similar symptoms as you?
Well, when he was sick concurrently with us, he had symptoms, but he was around different people. So we think he might have gotten a different thing. But he did get COVID, and I think he got Delta because he couldn't taste or smell for like 2 weeks, and he was so pissed. And, you
Yeah.
know, he did the same sleep a lot stuff. And of course, you know, but yeah, I knew there was a chance that the news wasn't reporting accurately for whatever reason the spread of the virus, and so either they were way ahead of the curve and it hadn't hit, or they were behind the curve and we were all walking around exposed at that point. And it turned
Mhm.
out to be the latter. And the only reason why I wasn't more careful was because I thought, if I get it early, then I stand a chance of defending against later variants,
Yeah.
so that I might not sit and got worse.
Sounds good. And with all that you have going on, that's probably wise for you. Oh my goodness. Thank you for sharing.
Well, I think it turned into I think it turned into long COVID, though. I think that's been part of my problem the past year and a half, 2 years.
So
So-
as you say that, as you say long COVID, I have a sister who also feels that she has long COVID, and she suffered with COVID in October is when she had it, and she is still suffering from it. So Dr. D gave some great advice on a class recently, and he suggested Mito 2 Max, DDR Prime, and frankincense if you're having long term. And having watched my sister go through this for the last six to 8 months, and having just gone through COVID, I'm like, please go away symptoms, please go away symptoms. I don't want to have to deal with this for a long term, because I'm someone who likes to get things done, and I feel so tired all of the time. So I will be trying DDR Prime. I took my first one today. I found my bottle, pulled it out, and I'm going to try that too, to see if I can get some cellular and brain help with that.
The fatigue comes from mitochondrial damage. So yeah, whatever you can do to boost your mitochondria.
Yeah, thank you. And I think that's what the DDR Prime will help with. He did suggest Mito 2 Max in multiplicity, like more than it says to take, for a week or so, to see if it can give you the boost up. And the DDR Prime and the frankincense, he said to use daily. It comes in an oil. He said you can put it on the back of your neck, but also comes in the pill form. So that's what he suggested. And I'm going to keep that up, see if I can get a little extra help. Patty put in the chat that I should have also taken PB Assist for the diarrhea. I have not ever tried that. I take PB Assist on a regular basis, but I do it a week, and then I do turmeric, and then I bounce back and forth between those two for different reasons, trying to get help.
So there is a correlation between taking the On Guard soft gels and the occurrence of diarrhea. And
Really?
it's because the On Guard soft gels, the oils in that, are detrimental to the natural floral balance in our gut. But it's so much more beneficial to our immune system
Yeah.
that we take it, and
It's
then we
worth
just
it.
have to rebuild. So you just rebuild. It's just like you gave yourself a little On Guard cleanse, and now you're going to rebuild with the PB Assist.
Yes. I love that. I love that attitude. That sounds great. Anyone else have a COVID experience or
Well, yeah, Dale's had COVID during Snowmageddon last year.
Yep.
And so for those who don't know, my husband is older than I am, so he's at a higher risk because of his age. And he got COVID. He got tested positive for COVID less than a week after I got my second dose of the vaccine. These two items are not connected, other than I was safe to deal with his COVID and help him through it. So because because I had already been vaccinated, he was safe at home, and it kept him out of the hospital where all the really sick people hang out. And the end of this conversation is I used a ton of oils for him. At the time, the medical wisdom was don't use Tylenol because it could increase the likelihood of stroke or bleeding. So we use the polyphenols. I use the deep blue polyphenols. I use the Copaiba tablets. That was his painkiller. Every 4 hours we did that. I was able to keep him hydrated and nourished with small meals throughout the day. So we had a constant supply of clean, nutritious food. Of course, I gave him the oregano and the Melissa on his feet. For his chest, I gave him Breathe, and I put Melissa on his chest, and I put Deep Blue directly on his back with Copaiba on his back to help with the shakes and the aches and pains. He was pretty whiny about the whole thing. Actually, he said it was much less fun than he had been led to believe, and he did not recommend it for anybody. But that's just how my husband talks. So he was sick in bed, in and out of fever, and of course I checked his peripheral circulation, made sure that his toes and his fingertips were pink and bloody, and so that they weren't, he wasn't losing any circulation. I made him get up every other day and walk and take a shower, and just so that he can clean himself every day. I put Breathe and On Guard in the diffuser to kind of, keep his airways open. I made sure that he was sleeping on his stomach with his head down. He was not happy about that.
Patty, you are such a good nurse and such a good caregiver. Oh my goodness.
The orthostatic positioning was one of the earliest keys to getting the COVID out of your lungs. If you because COVID likes to hide in the bottom part of the lungs, which is also where pneumonia likes to hide, in the bottom part of the lungs. And if you're sitting up because you can't breathe, the fluid is being held down in the lungs by gravity. But if you turn over, it comes out in coughing and in sputum, and that's how it's supposed to come out. So you have to turn over to get that out. So yeah.
It's interesting you say that, because this congestion that I've had is different than any congestion I've ever had. It falls down my throat and causes me to gag multiple times a day. It's not like I have to clear my throat to get the gunk out like I might in other sicknesses. It literally just causes me to gag multiple times a day. I've never had that before. So
Yeah.
That I don't know. It is different than anything I've been through before.
So I want to tell you, in your sinuses, only one side of your sinuses will be blocked at a time. This is biologically the way it works. I mean, you may have some constriction, but you won't be completely blocked off on both sides at the same time, unless you have like a sinus or a cavity infection up there. So while you are suffering from this congestion, lay on your side, not on your back, and try to stay either horizontal or head down as much as you can stand it with all the pressure in your head
Yeah,
on one side at a time.
and that's the way I
right.
really sleep. So that's very interesting that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do understand that you have more experience medically than the rest of us, but my goodness, your husband is lucky to have you to care for him because you know what needs to be done. And thanks for sharing all of that with us. You're amazing, Patty. Okay, you are. I love it. Thank you. And just to backtrack on the citrus a little bit, since some of you missed that. If you want to listen to this video, let me know and I can give you, we kind of did a short discussion for the first 20 minutes about our citrus and all the wonderful ways that it helps us. We are blessed to have it, but please be careful in the sun with it. That'll be great. Hey, next week, Lee is going to teach us about our immune system, and this is timely now that I'm getting over this and other things. So natural ways that we can use the oils to help with our immune system. And that will be fantastic. This Friday night, Dr. John is actually doing, Leanne's team starting to do some classes in their home. So if you're ever interested in coming to some in-person classes, Leanne's starting to do some in her home, and Dr. John's going to be teaching in her home this Friday about the science behind essential oils. So he's really good at that. So let me know if you're ever interested in going to some in-person classes again. It's easier for me to stick with Zoom because you guys are able to pop on from all over the place. Tammy lives in Utah and Laura lives way far away and wouldn't be able to come to in-person classes. So it's really nice that we have this opportunity to do it on Zoom. Thanks for coming, everybody. Sonia, it's so good to see you. I miss you. Good to see you. And Jolene's going to talk about convention. If you have any interest in learning about details for convention, she's going to talk about that for our business tonight. And I'm going to stop the recording and then